Hi there, I'm Michelle and I would like to welcome you back to our Caboodles Coloring Class 1. The exercise we'll be working on today is basic skin tones, and if you ordered our Caboodles class kit from the Angel Company, you'll have this sheet right here that talks about the skin tones we'll be doing. Now we have two different skin tones on here. We have a lighter and a darker, and what I do, I just fold this in half so that while I'm working, I can work on one at a time without getting confused. Okay, for this exercise, I'm going to be using E000, E00, and E01. And what I'm going to do first, I'm going to start out with my E000, and I'm just going to take and lay down my color on my image. Just like that. Now when I'm working on skin tones or any other area for that matter, I always break my image down into sections. So I'll do like the face and then maybe the arms and then the legs together. If I do her dress at once, but I always break it down into sections just to make it a little easier for me to work with. Then I'm going to go to my E00. I'm going to pull in some shades here. Some shadow areas. I haven't designated a light source. I'm just kind of doing just some very basic skin tones. Okay, then I'm going to go back with my E000 and I'm going to soften that line. And you can see I'm just feather blending in towards the center. You could also color with circles. I'm just going to continue feather blending in. And then I try to keep an area lighter. So in here towards the center part, I'm going to try to not get as much color saturated there because I want the lightness that it's going to give me. Then I'm going to go to my E01, and this is where I'm going to want my darker, drop in my darker tones, maybe up here in her hairline. Flick some of this darker down, maybe along here on her cheekbone. Over here on her ear is going to be a little darker, along her little chin. So I'm just going to drop in that darker color. So this is E000. I know that's confusing. And I'm just going to flick or feather blend right in towards the center, just so that I get a nice smooth blend. Just like that. Get her little neck right there. I still have my E000 and I'm going to go ahead and ink up her little arms. Now one thing you're going to discover when you do skin is that, or I guess it applies to any image, these smaller images, you might not use all of your colors. You might just use two. We're going to go ahead, this is E00, and I'm going to drop in, I think it's probably going to be a little darker right in here and maybe along her elbow. I want to accentuate her little wrist joint there where her little bones are, and maybe her little fingers. We'll come down here, maybe right up there in the crease. Then I'm going to go to E01, and I'm going to drop in some darker. Again, I want to make that little wrist area, I want to define it. And then I'm going to just drop this in here. I'm going to go back to my E000 and I'm just going to blend. And you can blend it like that, or you can blend it with little circles, whatever you think. And then if you need to go back and highlight, you can, or add in deeper shadows. If you get rid of them all, you might want to just drop some right back in. Really easy to do, especially with this palette. And I'm going to take my E000 and I'm going to color in her legs. I'm going to pull my E00, going to define her ankles, Drop in around her legs a little bit, her little toes. Going to do the same thing on her left leg. Then I'm going to pull my E01. And again, I just want to make sure I've got that defined by her little ankle, her little pigs. Work that until you're happy with it. Then I'm going to take E000 and I'm just going to drop in some feather blending just to soften that. Usually I rotate my paper all around and work from every edge. I'm wanting to keep it in place so that you can see what I'm doing, so I don't rotate it around as much as I typically would. And that's basic skin tones. Now if you wanted to add a little color to the cheek, I'm going to take R81, and depending on where you add it, some people add it way out here, some people add it close. It doesn't matter to me. Just going to drop a little circle down there, and it's got a little, it's got some harsh edges to it. So just to soften that harsh edge, I'm going to take my E000 and I'm just going to flick or feather blend right over it, just to bring down the tone so that it's not so alarming. And that's a basic skin tone for Caucasian skin.